Welcome to Coffee Break with Rachel V. Hill, presented by Superbook Sports. Taking a daily look at the biggest stories in Denver sports and interacting live with you, the Coffee Break fam. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of joe, and enjoy your coffee break. Here's your host, Rachel V. Hill.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. We're seeing the comments. Go Nuggets. Hopefully, or happy wintering. Hopefully Monday. Rachel DMAC, so exciting. DMAC, how are you? Are you ready for today? How was your weekend? Give me everything.
Weekend was good. I spent yesterday down at practice with the Nuggets and the Heat. So you can ask me about that as we go. You look spectacular. I am obviously in the, we're expecting some big stuff tonight, obviously. I am still in the, I don't know what I'm doing, but you look like you're good to go.
Thank you. Okay, so fun fact. I went to sleep with my hair completely wet in this like little doodad thing, and my hair just turned out like this morning. So I can't complain. It took no effort on my part, but yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, let's go. I'm going to get it down there.
Really, it's like really curly and stuff, It's no, you look, hey, we're all getting ready for a big night, right? We're all anticipating a big night. It was interesting to be down with the teams yesterday. So if you want to ask me, you can, but I'm doing great. I'm excited.
Don't worry, we're gonna get into it. Happy Popcorn Champions Day. How is your ankle feeling, RV? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't like bruises, I recommend you just close your eyes for a couple of seconds, but I'm going to show you guys what my ankle looks like because I'm a little nervous for tonight. I'm going to power through no matter what, but I'm a little nervous. Okay. You ready?
Yeah. Oh my
That's
God.
My ankle currently. Yep. So, yeah, that's my ankle. It is very much bruised. It is very yellow, very purple, but I'm going to power through tonight no matter what. So if you see me hobbling around, that's me.
What shoes are you wearing tonight?
So I have a boot that I'm going to be wearing, and then I'm just going to be wearing like a tennis shoe type thing on my other foot to try and
Oh my God. Well,
yeah, isn't that crazy?
Maybe you can use it to your advantage, as you're hobbling around, maybe
pushing people out of the way.
I know where our seats are.
Yep.
Okay. That's going to be a challenge knowing where our seats are. That's all I'm saying.
I know. Trust me. I have mentally prepared myself. I'm going to be relying on you and for Jake and for Zach to hopefully get my bag to the thing as I wobble down the stairs a little bit. But I think I might just use the elevator for everything. So
absolutely. I will help with whatever needs to be helped as anything I can do. I think we may want to make how are you standing? Like if you were just standing in the boot, how would it be?
It's not bad. It's just, here's the thing about like being on the media side of things is I'm going to get down there around 3 p.m. today. And it's going to be like, I probably, if they win, hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody put fingers crossed in the comment section. I probably won't get home until after midnight, closer to 1 o'clock. So it's just a long time to be on your legs. So I'm hoping I can just, sit down. I'm hoping it's an easy win for the Nuggets. And then we are not having to be like, up and down too much. So
I just know from the Avalanche last year when they won it, they do a lot of the stuff. Boy, we are counting our chickens, aren't we? We are jinxing this thing like nobody's business. But they tend to do the media a lot different. Everything kind of happens on the court.
Yeah.
There definitely will be some stuff in the press room. But there'll be a lot just right, all the rules go like out the window. You can just do whatever you want.
I'm just going to kick people. So, and it's going to hurt them a lot more than it's going to hurt me, to be completely honest. So I'm just going to be kicking people out of my way. That's my game plan.
All right. Well, teamwork makes the dream work. So whatever we got to do for you tonight, I'm glad you're getting there early. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
No, for sure. Okay, so piggyback her to her seat, DMAC. Yeah, DMAC, just carry me.
Oh, yeah.
My boyfriend had to do Saturday night after I got done with the concert.
You went to Kane Brown.
I did go to Kane Brown. It was so much fun too. I'm so happy. I was telling Matt, our producer, on the back end before the show started. I was like, If it was any other artist, I probably would have been like, you know what, I'm not going to go just to rest my ankle, but he's one of my favorites. And my boyfriend literally had to hold me up the entire concert. I like, kid you not, we locked arms and he just had to hold me up because it was still sloped, that like my other foot was having all my pressure, was killing me. He's amazing. I love him. So huge shout out to him. I know he was fantastic about the whole thing. And then he had to carry me back to the car because my foot hurt so bad. But hopefully that's not going to be what's going to be happening tonight. If we win tonight, do we know when the parade day is, D-Mac?
I've been told it's Thursday. I've been told by media people and police officers, and so I think it's going to be on Thursday. And that's been known for a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I believe listen, man, we are jinxing like unbelievable. I'm laughing just talking about it, but I do anticipate they win tonight and the parade is on Thursday. I anticipate all those things. So Thursday is your answer.
Fingers crossed. Well, if you don't want to go down to Ball Arena, make sure you go out to Old Chicago down here in Highlands Ranch. You can watch the game tonight with Mike Evans and a few other hosts, as we will bring in our very own Jake Shapiro, because I know he's got some news for us. Jake, good morning. How are you?
Right there. Best in the NBA. They called it in 1977, and it's happening.
Okay, what's the news, though? Because I know stuff is breaking currently about the Miami roster tonight.
Yeah, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, as of like a minute ago, Tyler Herro is expected to suit up in Game 5 of the NBA Finals.
Interesting.
This is no surprise. This is their last and final card to play. Herro has not played in about 7.5, 8 weeks since injuring his hand. I believe he broke his shooting hand against the Milwaukee Bucks Game 1 of the NBA playoffs. D-Mac saw him practice yesterday. I saw him practice in Miami. He does not look particularly amazing, but you've got a 20-point per game scorer on your bench who is ready-ish to play, and this is the NBA Finals. You got to take a chance at it.
No, not surprising at all, honestly. It's my favorite quote coming out, D-Mac, from you yesterday was Jimmy Butler being like, legit, this is like, you must win. And I'm like, well, yes, you actually must win, because if you don't win, you're going home and nothing else matter. Like, it is a must win game.
One of my biggest sports pet peeves is the expression must win. It's just like, I hate it because I can't help taking it literally. I'm weird like that. And to hear Michael Malone and Nikola Jokic say it's a must win situation, like, drives me bonkers. But okay. And then Jimmy Butler goes, this is a legit must-win situation. And this is the only time in this series where Jimmy Butler will be right and Nikola Jokic will be wrong, okay? This is it describing the situation. I understand what the Nuggets are trying to do to put themselves in the right mental sort of frame. Okay, fine. I got it. But when Jimmy Butler says this is legit must-win, he's right. And he goes, and then we got to win this, then we got to win the next one, then we got to win the next one. And you realize for a team that I think is 2-6 in their last 8 games, against a team who's 9-1 in their last 10 games, how preposterous this is. And yes, I was there. We were there when the Avalanche lost Game 5 to Tampa, and it sucked. And it would suck tonight if that were to happen. But there is zero chance the Nuggets aren't going to win this series and likely win this series tonight. I watched Herro practice yesterday. He practiced a little bit. He went off to the side to wrap his hand again. He was playing basically with like the second team guys or the bench guys who aren't going to play at all to get their workout in. And it was like, he was okay. I mean, it was all right. But talk about desperate measures. This is about as desperate as you get. He will not make a significant difference in this game. He needs more time. He looked okay. He hit some shots. But they were being careful with them. They weren't contesting anything. They weren't challenging him. They weren't I know Spoelstra said, well, he's going to have a physical practice. That's not what happens. They're leaving him alone because they don't want to hurt him. He's like might as well be wearing like a red football jersey out there, like a quarterback. So yeah, okay, fine. He can dribble the ball. He can pass the ball. He can shoot with no pressure on him whatsoever. This is, I'm actually a little surprised he's playing, to be honest with you, based on what I saw in practice yesterday. But this is the degree of desperation they have.
I'll give you the reason why he's playing. Do either of you guys know how many Heat players scored double figures in Game 4 of the NBA Finals?
2.
Jimmy and Bam.
Damn.
That's why they need Tyler Herro.
Well, right. They need the real Tyler Herro.
They need a body, D-Mac. They need somebody who can be a threat. Gabe Vincent hasn't been a threat since Game 2 in Denver. Caleb Martin's been nothing since the Boston series. They need something. They just, I mean, I know it's a hope and a prayer, but they're down 3-1. They need a hope and a prayer right now.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I don't think it's poor sportsmanship to be physical with Tyler Herro right off the bat. I don't
disagree.
I don't think it's bad to make some contact with his right hand. I think that would be a smart move. I'm not looking to hurt the guy or anything like that. But you got to at least put some thoughts in his head about, what he's trying to do here today. And go for it. I don't care. They can play Tyler Herro. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what I saw in practice yesterday. This is not something to be afraid of. It's definitely interesting news. It's absolutely relevant and very, very interesting news. I guess he's good enough to play, but guys, he's not going to have the right wind, the right conditioning, the right. I don't even care if he scores 18 to 20 points. So what? I mean, that's not a big deal to me whatsoever. No biggie. Cool. You're playing Tyler Herro. Nice.
Is there any other secretive move, right? We were all like, okay, well, they need to add height. That's when they threw in Kevin Love.
They could start Duncan Robinson. They could.
Jake says, ugh.
No, they're not doing that. They're probably not even going to start Herro. Herro came off the bench most of the year and won 6th man of the year last year.
You're asking me what they could do, not what they're going to do. They don't have much.
Realistically, D-Mac.
Their only hope to win is to shoot at least 50%-ish and 17, 18 3-pointers. I mean, guys, that's even with that, it may be a stretch, but that is their only hope. So how do they pile up when it matters 17 3-pointers, which means you can't get too far behind. You can't be hitting home runs down 8 in the bottom of the 9th.
Wait, does anybody else see D-Mac's cat? Look like it's about to.
Yep.
Oh, right there? How funny is that right there? There it is.
Rachel?
That's Ross. Oh, no. That's Ross. King of the jungle. Hi, Ross.
I thought he was going to jump. And
Wait, let me check. No, he would be fine if he did. That's Ross. That's Ross looking at you guys. He's checking out Coffee Break.
Oh my God. Troy says, Jake, what pool are you jumping into? Need to keep the streak alive. Jake, how was the recovery after jumping in the pool in Miami?
It was okay. My friend had a nice room in that hotel with a washer and dryer in the hotel room. Fantastic. So went in there, dried my outfit out, went to Little Havana, got a Cubano sandwich and some cafecito. And then I came back to the hotel room, had clean underwear. It was dry, and went to the game and was feeling good.
Job well done. What time did you? Okay, you didn't go to bed. You just got on your flight on Saturday morning, right?
All 3 days I was in Miami, I saw the sunrise.
Oh my gosh! And you're not sick right now?
No, I'm all right. Like, I'm not feeling great still. I honestly think the bigger problem is I had no fruits or vegetables. I only ate red meat.
Okay, well, we'll try and get you some vegetables here today. Okay,
Yeah.
Jake?
You couldn't mix it a salad, Jake? There's no way to do it.
There weren't salads where I was.
Fair.
Oh, that's too funny.
That's
Yeah.
actually fair tonight. So are the Heat feeling the heat, D-Mac? Is that what you got out of yesterday?
Yes, and yes. The Nuggets were talking in cliches about, we're down 3-1, not up 3-1, 1 quarter at a time. But meanwhile, they can't help it that questions are seeping in about their legacy, their journey, their family, all these things, because everybody knows they're on the cusp of victory. Whereas with the Heat, it was just, they're clinging on this come from behind 3-1 thing like LeBron did a few years ago against Golden State. But Jake, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think teams in the finals down 3-1 or 35-1. like it's happened one time, right?
So, and it's only happened, I think, 9 times in NBA series history that a team's come back from 3-1. The last team to do it was the Denver Nuggets, who did it twice in 2020. So it's a rare thing to come back from down 3-1, and something people are not talking about in the Miami Heat. Oh, they never say die, they're zombies. I agree. They've been completely unkillable. They also haven't faced an elimination game in the playoffs aside from Game 7 against Boston. They weren't down in playoff series. They've been leading their playoff series. So they're in a situation they're even a little bit uncomfortable with. And the feeling I got Game 4 post-game was that it sunk in with them that they're very desperate and they don't have the answers. If you just go back, and I finally had a chance to watch Game 3 and Game 4, they cycled through just about absolutely everything you can do defensively to try and stop the Nuggets. And obviously nothing has worked. The Nuggets are a far better team, and it hasn't been really that close in this series. It took a perfect Game 2 from Miami to win a game. And even then the Nuggets had a shot at the buzzer. So as D-Mac said, if the Heat shoot 15 threes on a good percentage, if they can find a way to keep the rebounding even, which they've struggled to do in this series, if they can get something from Martin or Vincent or both, then it will be a close game. And they are good in close games. But that is a lot of ifs.
Yeah, being down around them yesterday, to me, it feels like they're trying to say the right things, but it's a team that's resigned to their fate. Kevin Love just had a baby on Saturday with his supermodel wife. And good for them. Congratulations to them. He was in a good mood. He was there for the birth and then jetted up to Denver, and he was at the morning meetings on Sunday. So that's amazing. Congratulations to them. My point with that, though, and then I'm watching Spoelstra and everybody like during their practice, and Herro's trying to get ready, and they're seeing that. But if you could just read body language, even a pinch, and just watch what they're doing, the two guys that were actually kind of the most intense and really sort of focused on everything were Duncan Robinson and Max Strus during the open practice time that we could watch, because they know what's on the line. So there were like serious faces on like 2 guys. They had 2 guys who were really serious, and everybody else was just like, all right, here we go. This is it, that type of thing. To the degree that Eric Spoelstra was asked about Bernie, the mascot for the Heat, and there was great news yesterday that Bernie is out of the hospital. That is the human being that's in a mascot costume is out of the hospital. And Spoelstra said, that's Heat toughness. He's not going to miss a game. And, it's funny, and everybody's having a laugh, and good for Spoelstra for having a sense of humor about things. But, I mean, this does kind of metaphorically sum up what they're all about. They've tried to they have been a tough team until they just meet a better team. And, just like Bernie with the left hook of McGregor, you can pretend to be a boxer, but when you face a real boxer, you're going to get knocked out. And that's exactly what's happening to the Heat.
I do want to go back to this because, Jake, you were obviously there in person. Like, we saw Rocky with Charles Barkley, right? Like, oh, push it and shove it. What actually happened? Because it kind of just seemed like it was pushing and shoving. Did Conor McGregor actually, like, throw a decent punch, or what went down there?
So on Spo's comment, he's not going to miss the next game. Congrats. Your next home game's in 4 months. He's got some time to rest up. But Bernie, the mascot, has won my heart, guys. He was fantastic. I walk into the Heat arena, and he's roller skating down, like just playing with his jukebox. I'm like, this guy is just a vibe. I love it. I need to take you larger into like the Heat crowd in general. It is a bizarre environment there because the Heat toughness culture, they're like a blue collar team. And then their whole crowd is a bunch of people who are wanting to go out on South Beach till 4 a.m. So it's like this party atmosphere, but the team is like this blue collar team. So the identity and how it doesn't match up is kind of weird. And then you get the Rachel Veal every time Jimmy Butler scores with the Jimmy Butler. It's the whole thing is crazy. It's a great atmosphere, but it's a little crazy. The in-game ops are somehow, I think, a little worse than the Nuggets. And their bit was to throw Conor McGregor out during one of these 3-minute and 30-second commercial breaks. And Conor McGregor comes out there pushing his new product. And he's out there with Heat play-by-play guy, Jason Jackson. They're like, Conor, tell us about your new product. Literally a commercial on the court. And he's like, oh, it's this pain relief spray. Like, no problem. You'll be feeling great, blah, blah, blah. It's amazing, blah, blah, blah. And then Jason Jackson is like talking it up. And they're just selling this product for a minute. And then Bernie comes out of the tunnel wearing a boxer's robe. And Jason Jackson starts prepping like, oh, you've got a big fight coming up in, 4 months, but what about your fight right now? And Conor's like, well, I've never been to a basketball game before. This is fantastic. He's like, no, you're about to fight Bernie. And then Bernie comes out and, they do a little like jumping around. Okay. McGregor hits him hard. One shot, falls over. Don't know if it's a bit. Then McGregor, he's an MMA guy, not a boxer, hits Bernie again after Bernie has fallen. I believe that's probably the hit that sent Bernie to the ER. That second hit, afterwards, Conor McGregor's pushing a pain-relieving supplement, a spray. It's like the thing you see in soccer. McGregor sprays Bernie all over with this pain-relieving supplement. It did not work because Bernie went to the ER. The whole thing made no sense. We watched the mascot got decked by like this MMA guy, and then his pain relieving supplement didn't work. The whole thing was the most bizarre thing I have seen in a stadium.
And then McGregor got booed.
The whole time McGregor was getting booed.
So if you want to talk about a metaphor for their season, it's Bernie and McGregor. You're tough, you're scrappy, you're surprising, and then you're going to get your teeth kicked in by somebody who's just, better, I guess. I mean, it was weird beyond weird, and that Spoelstra was even asked about it afterwards, continued, like yesterday, continued the weirdness, and it did show me that, like, all right, I'll give the Heat a little credit here. Talk about having nothing to lose. I mean, I don't think there's any pressure on the Heat whatsoever. Seriously. Nobody is expecting anything. I wouldn't say they were, again, I don't think they were uptight. I think they were resigned, okay? Resigned to their future. I think they're looking around being back here in soggy Denver again. And it's just like, let's just get this thing over with.
Is that when the Heat play their best basketball, though, is when there's no pressure, no expectations or anything like that, Jake?
Yeah, Game 7 against Boston's probably the anomaly there because there was the expectation of they're going to be the first team ever to blow a 3-0 lead. But for the most part, there's been no pressure on this team. Like, they were resigned to their fate of missing the playoffs when they were down 5 in the fourth quarter with minutes left at home to the Chicago Bulls after losing their first play-in game. It was over. They were resigned to the fact that they were going to lose to the Milwaukee Bucks, the best team in the NBA. When they played them, they beat them. The Knicks, they just rolled through because the Knicks weren't that good. And they were they were going to lose to the Boston Celtics. And then they ended up going 3-0. And, Jason Tatum spared them the embarrassment with the injury early on in Game 7. But that's one of the reasons why I think they came to Denver and they played well. We saw the Nuggets kick their behind in Game 1. Game 2, they come back. Well, everyone knows the Nuggets are winning this series. Okay, time for the Heat to win a game. So that's why these Heat have been non-kill, like they can't be killed. They're the zombie Heat. They're dead men walking. So yeah, there is a certain aspect of maybe tonight's the night they put it all together. But even them putting it all together, we saw that in Game 2. The Nuggets had a shot to win. So there's nothing that the Heat can do to completely control a game and beat the Nuggets. They got the Jokic ankle game. They got the Jokic off night, honestly, and Jamal off night, all in Game 4. They got everything they needed to win a home game in Game 4, and they lost it by just as many points as they lost Game 3 when Jokic and Murray had incredible games. So I don't think this series has been close. I don't expect tonight's game to be close. And honestly, hats off to the Heat because they shouldn't be here. And I think the Nuggets' toughest battles have been in the past. I think looking back on it right now, the Lakers and Suns series were a million times harder, which is funny to say because the Lakers were a sweep.
How was Jokic ankle yesterday, D-Mac?
Fine. You're fine. He wasn't hobbling around at all. What? Yes.
Let's talk about a rolled ankle, though, because I'm dealing with one. So they better be pumping whatever into his little ankle to make sure
Jimmy
it's
Butler's ankle looks like this right now.
That's-
Jimmy Butler's ankle's a balloon.
Yeah. Jokic, they're having fun, guys. They're loose. They're confident, but they're not looking past anything. They've gone through too much. It means too much for them to take this game lightly. And Malone is so paranoid, okay? I mean, to his credit, the king of rage timeouts realizes all he has to do now is coach 4 quarters. That's it. And the score inevitably will be close or something after 1 or 2. So the only thing he really has to do is stay on them in a tough way through 2 quarters of play. I mean, when you're so close to the finish line, guys, and this is where basketball is different than hockey. You have so much more in your control in basketball because it's not like somebody's standing there above the basket swatting your shots away like a goaltender for the other team. That's why you just don't see as many upsets in basketball as you do in hockey. You just don't. There are certain things you can and can't do. There's only so many ways you can defend a guy without fouling them and sending them to the free throw line, guys. I mean, that's basketball. That's the beauty of basketball. It's the ultimate team game and small team game as opposed to football. So there's just not a lot you can do except for hope, and I think when we look back on it, we'll look back on the one win the Heat got as lucky. We'll look back on the one win that the Timberwolves got. That was a game the Nuggets actually, you want to talk about their worst game. It was just letting off the gas up 3-0 in Minnesota, okay?
It took 50 points in overtime from Edwards to beat them. You know what? It was a bad game, but it also was a miraculous performance from the other guy.
But that's going to be it, guys. This is going to be one of the more dominant playoff championship runs of all time. Jokic and Murray, hands down, the best duo. And Jokic is an all-timer after this win and after he gets the MVP. When you mention the best players of all time, if you're not mentioning Nikola Jokic, you're making a mistake. And the only people that won't be doing that are people that are just dying right now. The Nick Wrongs of the world, the Kendrick Perkins of the world, all these guys that just, were just wrong. I mean, way wrong. I'm sure Lisa Salters is quite familiar with Jokic now. I'm sorry if Dan Patrick is bored, but that's on everybody else. It's not on the Nuggets to protect. I heard Doris Burke talk on the JJ Redick podcast, and she was like, "Oh, what a big revelation that the 2-time MVP is good." Good for Doris for throwing some low-key shade at people who just weren't frankly paying attention. And get ready, because this rocket ship ain't slowing down. This rocket ship is going to keep on. Jake, I know you're a little bit more hesitant about that, but I think the 2-man combination, Michael Porter Jr. is just fine, okay? No need to trade him, get rid of him, all that sort of stuff. And Aaron Gordon is, what are you going to say? KCP, okay, we'll see with that, and we'll see with Bruce Brown. But this team's going to be right back here, guys. Same time, same place next year.
Okay. A couple things on that. One, D-Mac, I've thought about it a lot the last, week. As long as they have Nikola Jokic playing like that, it does not really matter what the CBA rules are. The Nuggets have a chance. They do. And they have Jamal and another good guy, 2 all-star level players. I think that this roster was not that well constructed, honestly. They don't have a backup center. They don't really have a backup point guard. They've made it work. So if this roster was better constructed, the Nuggets probably would be better. I think there's a world in which the Nuggets could be better. And I think they're the best team in the NBA. They're fantastic. Don't get me wrong. 2, most dominant playoff runs. There's only one team that has won 16 games. So under this current format in the playoffs, that has lost fewer games. It was the 2018 Golden State Warriors. So the Nuggets have one of the best playoff runs of all time. They have one of the best offenses of all time. Third, what would it take for Nikola Jokic to not win Finals MVP tonight if the Nuggets win? What are we talking? Does Jamal need to go for 50 and a triple-double? Is it possible? Is there something that could happen?
No, there's not, because if Jamal goes for 50, that means Jokic probably has 18 assists. And if Jamal goes for 50, they have a big lead, meaning the Heat are bombing away. So it means that Jokic probably has, I'll say 21, 18 if Jamal goes for 50. I mean, it would be something.
Crazy.
No, but seriously, it would be something like that if Jamal goes for 50, because they would be playing almost exclusively the two-man game the entire time, and the Heat would have to be bombing away desperately if Jamal goes for 50. I don't think Jamal is going to go for 50, and I don't think there's any world where Jokic doesn't win the MVP.
I second that statement. Jake, I want to just hit with you real quick. You do have a Rockies shirt on. Charlie Blackmon to the IR. What can you tell us about it?
Going to miss a couple weeks with a right hand fracture. I think they said 4 to 8 weeks, something like that. Charlie is probably in his last season with the Rockies, probably in the last season in Major League Baseball. Although I could see him catching on just as an off the bench bat with someone for a year or two on a better team. Chuck has not been particularly amazing this year. The Rockies haven't been particularly amazing this year. They're actually the worst team in the National League again after a 1-5 homestand. They played the kids. They called up a lot of the kids because of the guys are getting hurt. It took the guys getting hurt for them to call up the kids. And lo and behold, last night, one of the weirdest Rockies games I've ever watched, Nolan Jones hits a walk-off home run. Kid. Ezekiel Tovar leads off the game with a home run. Kid. You have Coco Montes, who gets called up yesterday and hits a home run. Kid. Like, all the kids played yesterday. It was fun. It was a win. The Rockies did something, and it's going to be rough with all the kids at times, but you could see it yesterday why playing all the kids could be beneficial. So, out to pasture at this point with Charlie Blackmon almost. But yeah, it sucks to see him be hurt. He's been playing through this injury now for like a week. And Chris Bryant has been an utter disaster again. And yeah, it's not looking too pretty over there.
If Chuck wants to stay with the Nuggets, fine. But I would think that he would want a chance to win. I do.
You mean
I think he could. I think as Todd Helton probably could have as a support player in his final couple of years. Todd didn't want to go, which was weird to me. I don't know why. And I hope Charlie gets whatever he wants. But this is it for him as a Rockies player. You can't not play these younger guys. Mm-hmm. The end. Charlie doesn't do enough for you. So I hope they do right by Charlie, whatever he wants. But I would think he would want to go to a team that's going to win, even if he's coming off the bench as some sort of role player for, I don't know, give me an American League team, the Rays, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody like that could probably use somebody like him. And the Rays are having a really good season. So how about Baltimore? A team kind of on the rise that could use maybe a little veteran presence in the American League. We'll see. I don't know what Charlie wants out of this, but he's done with the Rockies, and there's not many reasons to play him again, period, actually.
Yeah, he's out basically to the trade deadline. And the Rockies historically have not traded away veterans at the deadline. So it would be Charlie asking to be traded, which is what happened with Larry Walker, which, by the way, sped up the Rockies' rebuild in 2004, 2005, big time. That led to 2007, because if they hadn't traded Larry Walker, they wouldn't have been able to sign Dexter Fowler.
Yeah, and it got Larry Walker to a World Series where he lost. And I think he did win, though. Didn't they win after? Well,
Larry was unbelievable in that World Series. He had like a 111 OPS, and then he ended up winning in 2007 a couple of years later.
Yeah. No, not 2007, but
2006.
Well, the Red Sox were 04 and 07.
Yeah.
I think the point is he got one eventually. He did get it, eventually. And he's an all-time Rockies. He's in the Hall of Fame as a Rockies player. Mm-hmm. So yesterday was a weird game. The umpires were counting on the Rockies to lose.
Yeah.
How weird was that?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt they should have, not postponed it, but, time out in the game. And it's like, the umpires just didn't give the Rockies a chance. And good for Ryan McMahon to hit a blast. And then, good for Nolan Jones and, get to know some of these guys. There's a few other young guys down on the farm that are kind of exciting too. But, that's it. That's it for the Rockies. It's over. Jake talks about a great win, which it was, but they were at the end of a miserable homestand, Rachel. They're the worst team in the National League. They had lost 5 in a row at home until it took, an act of nature and youth to win one. So they're not in a good spot, guys. But I saw Patrick Saunders say there were 35,000 people there over the weekend. So, it's an amazing ballpark.
It is, and it does draw people. Jake, as always, we appreciate you. We'll see you down at Ball Arena later tonight. And if you're not going down there, you can absolutely go down to Old Chicago and hang out with Mike Evans and a couple of the other fan hosts down there, as we will bring in our very own James Marilat. How are you, James? Good morning.
I'm good. Little house cleaning. Larry Walker never won a World Series. He retired after the 2005 season. They lost to Houston in the NLCS in his final season with the Cardinals.
Thank you for cleaning that up, James. I thought he got one, so he wasn't on the Cardinals when they were terrible.
I was gonna say, are you ready? Are you gonna have a shaving party tomorrow? Hopefully.
No. It won't go till tomorrow, Rachel. The game starts at 6:30. Nuggets will win by 9. This thing's coming off at 9:05.
Okay. Well, sounds good. We expect an updated profile picture with no beard for James Marilat.
Yeah, that'll be good.
All right, let's go into expectations for tonight. You obviously probably heard Tyler Herro is expected to play. Does that mean anything to you, or is it's done? They've tried everything. This is their final hurrah, and the Nuggets should walk away with the W.
I mean, I don't want to completely dismiss it. He is a really good player, but he hasn't played in weeks. So how much of an impact will he have? But listen, I'm a fatalistic Nuggets fan right down to the wire. So until the clock hits 0-0-0-0 tonight at the end of the fourth quarter with the Nuggets ahead, I'm going to worry about something. So yeah, it's a little bit of a benefit for the Heat. Is it enough to make up for the fact that in essence, other than 4 minutes in the fourth quarter of game 2, they've pretty well been dominated in this series? No, he's not going to make that big a difference. Nuggets are going to be fine tonight.
All right. How much would you be willing to pay for a ticket to tonight's game?
Well, I just wrote a story at denversports.com. You can get in tonight for the same prices, if not cheaper than you got in for game 2, which is amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not cheap at all, right? Upper Deck, you're talking $800, and then you got to pay all the fees and all the rest of it. But that's what it was for game 2. You get to watch history tonight, potentially. Yeah. Now, I people may have been a little bit, kind of jaded based on they spent a lot of money last year for game 5 with the Avs. And then that was a big disappointment, a big gut punch. Maybe they're just fatalistic like me and thinking, I don't know, it might not happen. But I'm shocked that you can get up in the upper deck for under $1,000.
I'm shocked because tickets for Game 5 of the Stanley Cup last year were more expensive. The cheapest ticket to get in the door was more expensive than it is for tonight. This is like the first time ever this could possibly happen. I figured we were going to be seeing tickets for like $1,500. So that really surprised me right there, D-Mac.
That's a weird one, though, because, yes, I mean, we're talking slightly cheaper guys. Not crazy. Maybe by $150 or so. Because I don't think you could get in. I know what I paid, and I paid as cheap as I could, and it was $1,000 a ticket. But that being said, look how much more expensive the tickets are lower. The Avs tickets weren't going for that price. I mean, there were no $24,000 tickets for the Avalanche or $10,000 tickets. That didn't exist.
There was 2 sets of tickets for $27,000 last year for Game 5 of the Avs Stanley Cup. I looked it up this morning. That's ridiculous.
Were you sitting in the penalty box with those seats? I mean, we're
right behind it, yeah.
And I mean, sitting on the glass is cool, but it's not near as cool as courtside.
No.
It's kind of a crappy seat. You just get to be on TV once in a while. Courtside is may not be a better spectator experience than courtside at any basketball game, let alone an NBA game or an NBA Finals game. But look, if you want to go down there tonight, witness history, it's not going to be that expensive. Well, I shouldn't say that. Not as expensive as we thought.
So what are you doing, Jimmy?
I'll be sitting on my couch with my boys. Got the whole family coming over, my parents, my brother and his wife, and all their kids. It's like a Super
very
party.
nice.
So,
quick question though: if they're losing, are you going to go upstairs and watch the Food Network?
Yeah, no, they all know how I am. They've known me for 49 years. They know.
Okay, sounds
if all of a sudden I'm not there, they know I'm either on a walk or I'm watching Anthony Bourdain or Andrew Zimmern or whatever is on. Carnival Eats, great show that Carnival Eats. See what they're serving up at the Iowa State Fair. So good.
Okay, perfect. D-Mac, they talked a little bit about the emotion, and Jokic was like, there's no emotion. We're just going to go out there and do our job, essentially. Are you both expecting to be a little bit? I was, laying in bed last night. I'm like, I'm so ready for tomorrow. Like, I'm a little antsy today. I can't imagine what it's like to be playing in this game. Or do you really both believe that they're just looking at it as another game and that's all they're thinking about? Because I just find that hard to believe. And we've all played sports here.
I think Nikola Jokic will be happiest for his teammates. I think he'll be happiest for people who are happy for him. And then I think he'll be looking at his watch to see when he get back to his horses in Sombor as quick as humanly possible. It will be devastating news to Jokic that he has to hang out in Denver for 3 more days for a parade when all he wants to do is it would not surprise me, guys. I don't expect it. I'm not predicting it, but I would not be surprised if Jokic, God, I don't think he can miss the parade. I'll bet you this, though. I bet you he'll ask about it. I'll bet you he'll say, do I have to be there? I bet you they haven't talked about it. I bet you anything, they haven't discussed it with the players or the teams. I bet that's foreboded. So it might come as news to everybody down there after they win, like, no, you got to be here for another 3 days. So we'll see how that goes over. But I think Jokic will be fine playing this 1 quarter at a time. I think there'll be other players who are more excited. I think the one player who is truly going to be free, like total freedom of mind, is Michael Porter Jr. Seriously. I mean, it's just not that big of a deal. He should feel relaxed to just, huck up 4 or 5 shots. If they go in, unbelievable. He breaks the streak. If they don't go in, all right, fine. He's probably sitting on the bench, So I think Michael Porter Jr. actually played pretty well, except for his shooting in Game 4. And he just needs to keep doing that. So there's no pressure on him. Aaron Gordon is light as a feather right now, okay? This guy is in a freaking great mood. I think the most wound up guy for the Nuggets is likely going to be Jamal Murray because that's just how he is. That's just how he's wired. But he needs that. He needs the pressure. He needs the sort of moments to get himself going. So I think each guy's going to handle it a little bit differently. But listen, man, it'll start with Jokic and Murray, and then they'll find whoever that guy is. That guy will present himself at some point, and I'm not sure who it's going to be.
I think the most overplayed storyline in Denver sports, maybe of all time, is the Jokic doesn't care nonsense. It's such a crock. He does care. If he didn't care, he'd still roll in at 300 pounds and start the season and work his way into shape.
Wait. Time out. Who said he didn't care?
Oh, it's all, he doesn't care if they win. I saw him waving his towel like he was Larry Bird in 1986 when Bruce Brown hit that 3. He cares. He wouldn't get kicked out of games to be the hothead he is that he doesn't care. I mean, I don't buy this thing. Don't buy this story.
You didn't hear what I said. He's going to care more. I'll repeat what I said. He's going to care more for his teammates, which is your towel example, which I said, and people that care about him, which is his family. That's enough for him to try his ultimate and his best.
You said he's going to skip the parade. He ain't.
He won't want to go to. He won't want to go to the parade, but he probably will.
Balderdash.
Okay. I mean, why do you think? Hold on.
Okay.
Why do you think
he doesn't want to go to the parade? Why in the heck is he playing NBA basketball? Why? At some point, this whole nonsense, if he doesn't care, we need to go timeout. Then why is he here? If he wants to just be riding horses, he's made enough money to go ride freaking horses all day, every day.
And I wrote about this exact topic at denversports.com. I detailed the deep psychological thing about him pleasing other people as the younger son. There's deep psychological reasons to it. This is all written about for you at denversports.com. There's reasons why he wanted to be in America and was more because of his girlfriend, now wife, coming to America to go to college. There's reasons why he said, I was more excited to be with my brothers than to be in the NBA, which he said a couple. And he's a man of his word and a promise. And he's got 5 years left on a huge contract. And it's definitely not about money for him, but it's about honor and being a man of his word. And he loves his teammates and being around the guys. That's it. The rest of it is garbage. I mean, it is a nail through his head when he sits down at a podium to talk to the media. He doesn't care about it.
I'm sure.
Well, he's not talking to the media at the parade. Well, I guess somebody will probably get up there, but he's just going to be hanging with the guys at the parade. That's exactly what he loves to do, right?
I'm sure he's over the 48th dumb question from national media members who just discovered this team. Like, I buy that. But he's also a guy who went and played for Team Serbia. Like, he doesn't care about winning, doesn't care about any of that stuff. Like, I mean, at some point, we need to give Nikola Jokic, the competitor, some credit. And I think we're undervaluing and underplaying just how, I mean, he's put this team on his shoulders. And if they win tonight, they're going to be 16-4 in the playoffs. That's an incredible run. And to just say he doesn't care.
I didn't say he didn't care. I literally didn't say that, James.
It's preposterous.
Well,
it's preposterous.
You're just, I cannot believe, talk about first world problems. We are really having a debate about the victory parade and the degree of caringness. James, okay, fine. My God, because we're going semantics. I'll just agree with you. He does care. He really cares. He cares a lot. Okay?
Okay,
is that easier?
When he's on the sideline and he's out of the game,
he cares about his other. He cares about his other teammates first. He doesn't care about all the other stuff. I promise you this: the parade is other stuff. It's not why he does it. It's not.
He's Gandhi in basketball shoes. I mean, come on. Like, he's just so selfless. He doesn't care. It's all about everybody else. He's just not in this for himself. It's for his brothers and for his teammates and for Michael Malone and all the fans and all the people in Serbia and all the, wonderful people in the world. Like, no, at some point he wants to win too. He wants to be a champion. This whole nonsense that he doesn't care about the MVP, I think is garbage. I think it's totally garbage. Proof that he cared about it. Once the conversation got ugly this year, he was affected by it. If you don't care about it, you're not affected by it. So I just am kind of over this storyline that just everybody runs with like it's, the gospel. I'm just over it.
I wish I had my popcorn right now because you two can make an argument out of absolutely anything. It is always incredible. I do want to touch on MPJ, though. I'm actually expecting MPJ to have a big night, but D-Mac, you said he can just play whatever ball.
Yeah.
MPJ is frustrated, and we saw that in Game 4. We saw when the ball went around the rim, and then it bounced out, and he took it, and he slammed it on the ground. He's frustrated, but can he make that frustration turn into something positive, or will it turn into something more negative, and his cold streak will continue?
Well, the good thing about these long breaks between games, guys, is that it really does give you a period just to chill out and cool off. And I do think these guys turn over really quickly. I think they process games and they don't hang on to things. Even when it looks like, even though we are grinding on every single second, that doesn't mean they are. And seeing Michael Porter Jr. yesterday interact with the guys, he gets along great with his teammates, okay? He's part of the crew. He has fun. He's a tremendous shooter, and he's going through a rough shooting patch right now. Not a rough playing patch, but a rough shooting patch. So, I mean, seriously, anything can happen, but it's not a guarantee that he snaps out of it. I mean, that's not a guarantee whatsoever. It just doesn't matter. If Michael Porter Jr. plays exactly the same tonight as he did in Game 4, they really would be fine. He had 11 points. He had some inside points. He took the ball to the hoop. I forget how many rebounds he had, but he was very active rebounding next to Jokic. And then, he was subbed out for Bruce Brown, Bruce Brown was unfreaking believable. But KCP could be unbelievable. Aaron Gordon was unbelievable. Nah, it's all good. He does not have to be. That is a revelation to me. I thought he would have to be great for them to win a championship. And the truth is he doesn't. He's kind of a role player right now who's still finding his way in a championship moment. But there's going to be so many more big moments for this guy. And his experience is already through the roof. So I'm very excited for Michael Porter Jr. tonight. If he doesn't have a great game, no big deal. We're going to see years and years of great play out of Michael Porter Jr. as a Denver Nugget.
Yeah, no, I agree. I actually think we've seen some maturation from MPJ in this series, right? Game 4, he did exactly what you're supposed to do. Go to the basket, try to get layups, try to get free throws, try to do other things to affect the game, go to the glass, play good defense, dive on the floor for loose balls. He didn't just stand out at the three-point line and pout because shots weren't going down. look, if he starts hitting tonight, the Heat are in trouble. Like, they're going to lose by 20. And, I think that Michael Malone has played this well. In game 3 and game 4, he put in game 3, it was Christian Brown. Game 4, it was Bruce Brown. If either one of those guys hadn't have played as well as they did, you go back to MPJ. But if he's struggling and you put somebody in and they're playing really well, you don't force it. You don't just say, well, I got it. I mean, this isn't a Tuesday night in Charlotte in January. It's the NBA Finals. You stick with the hot hand. If he hadn't had a hot hand, I think he would have gone back to MPJ because MPJ was doing those things that Michael Malone likes. Sure, he likes him hitting threes, but it's all that, kind of that dirty work that he's kind of embraced during this. So sometimes what seems like the worst thing in life turns out to be the best. There's my philosophical moment. These struggles, I think, are going to help MPJ grow as a player.
People act as if Michael Porter Jr.'s career's over. Guys, he's 24 years old. Will you calm down? Not you guys, but everybody else out there. And also, people think they're experts in reading his body language. The vast majority of these people really seriously don't know him, and they haven't been around him. He's just a different cat. He doesn't carry himself with a lot of rah-rah or that sort of thing. People take, he's like, I heard Mike Evans, my guy, say, Michael Porter Jr., slouching back to the bench. He wasn't slouching back to the bench. That's just who he is, Mike. Spend a little time getting to know him a little bit. I don't know what to say. This is, Rachel, you've been around him. You've been in the locker room. You've seen how he acts. You tell me what his personality is.
He's a very quiet individual who doesn't like to be in front of the camera, but is always gracious when he is, and he always touches his hair when he's nervous. That is Michael Porter Jr.
He's a young guy. He's going to mature. He's like,
let me add one more thing. He's somebody who has accepted his role on the team, that he is not going to be the number one person on the team. But at the end of the day, I don't think he cares because he just wants to win a championship and he understands the greatness that is Jokic.
I am staggered by local people this late in the game that don't understand what this team is all about. This and the buy-in of Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon and KCP and Bruce Brown and guys who haven't played at all. Let me give you a cool dude. And I don't think he's going to be on the team long. Thomas Bryant is a cool dude, okay? He gets along so great with his team, and that's a guy who could really have an issue, right? You said, James, there's no backup center. Certainly, there probably should have been some place for Thomas Bryant to play. That guy's always in a great mood. I can't speak highly enough of DeAndre Jordan and Ish Smith, what they've offered. Vlatko Konchar, who played a lot in the regular season. I mean, a lot. If there's somebody that's not going to be happy with his role, it'd be Vlatko, who arguably should have been playing a little bit more, okay? These guys, they get along so well. It's all about tonight and winning this championship. And Michael Porter Jr. has bought into that as well. So nobody needs to feel sorry for him, nor do you need to castigate blame on made-up body language, which just isn't true. He's got the support of his team and his teammates. He could go for 24 tonight or maybe 8 or 9. I don't know. It doesn't matter because they know it's Jokic and then Murray, and they go off of that. And if they double-team Murray, he'll just dish the ball to whoever, Michael Porter Jr., Christian Brown, whoever he needs to. There's no beating this Nuggets team. We're done with this. They've tried everything. Every single team has tried everything. And save me what they played low-seeded teams. They played nothing but NBA superstars start to finish. This championship is as impressive as anything in terms of any team winning a championship.
Whose night is it tonight? I feel like every single game here in the finals has been like, oh, this is AG, or it's Christian Brown, oh, it was Jamal Murray, yada, yada. Whose game is it tonight, James?
I think it's the MPJ game. I really do. First of all, I think Jokic, and I heard you saying it earlier, D-Mac, it wouldn't shock me if he goes off tonight and has the first 20-20-20 game.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Would not surprise me at all. So, if that happens, it'd be Jokic, obviously. But, we would almost just be like, oh, yeah, okay. I mean, the 20-20-20 game, which would just be insane. And people would just be like, we've seen this before. So I think he's going to have a great night. I don't think he's going to have 53 like he had down in Phoenix. They're not as good a team when he does that, but I think he's going to be having a night where he's distributing. He's getting every rebound. I think he's going to be the most dialed in guy on a mission. Even though he doesn't care, he's going to be on a mission. And then I think and then I think it's MPJ. I think he breaks out of it tonight. I think he has 20 plus. I think the Nuggets roll tonight. It's a coronation. It's a party at Ball Arena. It's happening tonight. It's been 56 years. All these people want to talk about it since 1976. This team goes back to 1967 when they were originally named the Denver Larks. They didn't win anything in the ABA either. So it's 56 years, comes to an end tonight. One of the longest droughts in professional sports. MPJ is going to help them out tonight.
I think it's going to be a little bit nebulous. And how about this for a hot take prediction? 6 players in double figures in scoring, where things just get spread out. And it's going to be really hard to define, like, oh, it was definitely this guy or it was definitely that guy. I could see a night like that happening because I could see KCP hitting like 3 3-pointers, right? I could see Michael Porter Jr., I think he'll get 10 no matter what, but I could see him going for 18 and hitting 3 3-pointers himself. Bruce Brown, we already know what Bruce Brown is. And I think the Heat will just be like an amoeba defense trying to stop whoever happens to make a shot. It just so happens that a lot of guys are going to make shots tonight. I think it's going to be a blowout for the Nuggets. And I'm going to be satisfied and thrilled and happy with the win no matter what. I think it would be great if it's a game where some of the other guys get in the game too. It's not going to be maybe a 3-2-1, oh my God sort of moment, but so what? Hey, don't forget, guys, this is the team that was leading the Suns 81-51 at halftime in an elimination game. And they spoke about it yesterday. They've had 3 knockout shots, and they did not succeed against Minnesota. How funny is that? But look at that game anyways. But they're not afraid of the knockout shot. They know what it's all about. They've been there and done that. A big win for the Nuggets tonight. Big win for the Nuggets tonight.
Give me a score. I see some people 126-99. A 30-20
I like it.
was insane. A 30 or a 20-20 game would be nuts. Give me your score prediction, James.
120-100. And I'm not sure Miami gets to 100, but I'm going to say 120-100. I think the Nuggets, I just think they really haven't played a great game, even close to a great game all series. I think tonight they wrap it up by showing America just how good this team is when they're firing all cylinders. 120-100 is my pick.
D-Mac?
The magic number has been 120 for home games. They lost one time this year.
Yep.
One time where they scored 120 points at home, and they lost to Dallas in like overtime by a bucket. That's it.
I was there.
You were at that game?
Oh, yeah. I got great luck.
That was it. That was the only time they scored 120 points. I'll tell you something. They scored 130 points 3 or 4 times and lost the previous year. Never mind 120 points. They lost in some wild ways a year ago. I'll say 121. See, 30-point wins are hard because the other team just finds a way to get garbage baskets. I'll go 121-103, and it ain't that close. So I'll put it under 20, but just barely, and I'll say a big lead from the get-go.
Okay,
I think there's going to be a lot of garbage baskets late. I think it's going to be like the Duncan Robinson show for 12 absolute garbage points in the last 3 or 4 minutes, something like that.
I'm going 112-101. Matt on the back end, our producer, what's your score prediction, my friend?
I'll say 118-102.
First of all, I love that you both do this. Everyone say hello to Matt in the chat. We love Matt. Okay, he's done a
Where's he coming? Where's the voice from?
From the heavens, D-Mac.
Well, if it's in the heavens, are we winning tonight?
Absolutely.
Let's freaking
If they don't, I won't sleep a minute all week. I really won't. If they
Why?
lose. Oh God, it's just so Nuggets. It'll be so Nuggets. They got to win tonight. They have
to win tonight.
I think they're going to win too, obviously. If they don't win tonight, they'll win game 6. And if they don't win game 6, they'll win game 7. James, yes. They're going to win one way or the other.
Listen, I had the heartbreak of being down there for game 5 for the Avalanche.
That sucks.
It sucks. So I'm rolling on Jokic to really carry this team. Real quick, 30 seconds. I want to get into this because I feel like everybody's talking about it. These creamsicle uniforms that the Buccaneers are bringing in, real quick, I want to show everybody. I want to just get your opinions. Do we like them? do we hate them, roast or toast them? Because I just look at them and I think Tennessee.
I love them. I love them. To throw back to their original 1976 uniforms, I think they're fantastic. Bring back anything that's 70s and 80s, sign me up.
Okay.
When they were wearing those uniforms, John Mackey, their coach, was asked about his team's execution. He said, I'm all for it. I think that's a lousy idea. It brings back memories of the sad past. I have no idea why they would go back to that whatsoever, but it is a harbinger of likely what's about to happen to them this year.
They went to the 1979 NFC title game. They were an expansion team in 76. This was back when it was tough to be a good expansion team. They didn't have there was no free agency, right? So the fact that they were able to get there, they lost to the Rams. The Rams went and lost to the Steelers, but they made it to the 1979 NFC title game in those uniforms.
Okay. I still just
Andrew Mason loves them. And Andrew Mason could
whatever.
I just look, I see Tennessee, but you know what? I think they're better than the Broncos throwback ones. Don't hate me for that comment there, everybody. But we will be excited. Hopefully, we are talking about a parade come Thursday. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. for another episode of Coffee Break. Wish me and my ankle luck tonight. And, of course, the Nuggets, too. Let's bring home the first title to Denver for the Nuggets. We'll see everybody tomorrow morning, 10:30. Bye, everyone.